Welcome to Stay House Today. I'm Gavin Jackson along with Mayan Schechter here in the State House lobby. It's Thursday, February 19th, 2026. And Mayan, we are wrapping up week 6 here at the State House.
That's right. It's finally night. We're close. We talked about this earlier. We're close to halfway.
Yeah.
We're very close to halfway.
For the entire session. We're talking about the second Thursday of May. We will be there the entire time. We'll be here with you. And we're also streaming on YouTube. So if you're watching us on YouTube as well, welcome to our folks who are also watching on ETV World. We will be going to the House at some point. They are gaveling in shortly, but we wanted to come to you first and just talk about some big news and things that have happened over the past 24 hours too, including what happened on the floor in the House and the Senate yesterday. We recapped a lot about this in the State House gavel, but we were talking yesterday, if you were watching, that it wasn't a wicked Wednesday and it wasn't like a wild Wednesday. It was just a wonky Wednesday.
A wonky Wednesday with some couple of wild moments.
But it became a wild Wednesday.
It became a wild Wednesday.
And what we're talking about too, and this is like picking up on what happened on Tuesday with Bill Clyburn in the House announcing that he was going to run for re-election after having said in January that he wasn't running. But then his wife Beverly died later in January, and he came into the House chamber for the first time since her death and announced that because of the support they saw in the State House, he was going to run for re-election because he's finding fulfillment here. He's been in that seat since 1994, Democrat from Aiken. You know him very well, Mayan. But that wasn't the only big news that we have had this week, which makes me worried what's going to happen today, because yesterday in the Senate, right after the House adjourned, if we're talking like 1:15, we went to the Senate. You were probably watching because we took the feed, and we saw Senate Majority Leader Shane Massey get on the Senate floor and really kind of say his mind about the upcoming state Supreme Court race that's taking place on March 4th here. He blasted former House Speaker Jay Lucas and his candidacy for that state Supreme Court seat that's currently occupied by Justice John Cannon-Few, who's also running for election, as well as 2 other folks who have been certified by the Judicial Merit Selection Commission. So what it basically boiled down to, and you can watch this on our YouTube page at youtube.com/SCETV News, was that Massey was saying that it comes across as favoritism. It plays into these theories and these tales of corruption here in Columbia, especially, again, like we keep talking about the campaign trail, Maya, and I feel like that was a direct hit at some folks who have been saying that there's corruption in Columbia on the campaign trail, as well as talking about judicial reforms. I mean, that's hand in hand right there. And we saw that play out majorly with the speech that we heard from the Senate Majority Leader. What did you take away from that? What did he tell you?
Look, I mean, so South Carolina is one of only 2 states where lawmakers elect judges. And as you mentioned, judicial elections and screenings have been in the news for quite a while, for the past few years, even though there have been law changes. This was a bit of a public rare rebuke from the Senate Majority Leader, although he has been perhaps speaking his mind a little bit more on certain things this year, but particularly around the state Supreme Court race. As you mentioned, this is about an ex-former House Speaker who was pretty popular in the House as it was. He faces 3 other candidates, as you mentioned, the newcomer and also appeals court judge Blake Hewitt, and also administrative law court judge Ralph King Anderson III. What makes this interesting is that the former House Speaker does not have judicial experience. He is an attorney from the Darlington area, but he has never served on the bench. And Massey made it clear that this does not look good for the legislature to be electing someone who has no bench experience. And also, again, it looks like favoritism. It risks kind of muddying the waters for the JMSC screening committee and also for the legislature. Big picture, this was a bit of a speech to put the House on notice, perhaps put other lawmakers in the Senate on notice. But the reality is that the Senate, in every single joint assembly vote, they are going to be the underdogs. Why? Because they don't have the members close to what the House does. There are 46 members in the Senate. There are 124 members in the House. You basically need about 85, 86 members, I believe, if the full legislature is there to win a seat. So again, they're outnumbered, but this is one of the first, I guess, tools in the toolbox that the Senate Majority Leader wanted to use. We asked him if he's got a plan down the road, something else, up his sleeve that we don't know about. And he said, right now, I don't have a plan. I felt the need to do this today.
Yeah, because I feel like things are going to be shifting on the fly right now. Again, we're less than 2 weeks away from that March 4th joint assembly where the lawmakers, like you said, all 170 of them will be in the House chamber voting on that contested race, as well as some other judicial situations. So we're going to see that play out. But again, we've also seen those candidates in the lobby, especially John Cannon-Few, who's been here making sure his presence is known. Of course, the Supreme Court's right across the street, so he's not too far away, but talking to lawmakers and really kind of keep himself visible to these folks because it is going to be very highly contested. And this really just throws a wrench into everything, at least for Jay Lucas, who was getting a lot of support from what it sounded like. Interesting to see where that support's going now if it changes all of a sudden.
Right. Senator Massey said that he understood that the votes were there for the former House Speaker, which is what compelled him to do that speech. But then he also said he heard the votes were soft, whatever that means. Lawmakers have been whipping, tallying up votes all week. We've not been privy to those tallies at all. But we do know, again, that between both Republicans who have been serving in the House for a long time, which many of them still are, and then also even Democrats, that there is a large swath of support for the former House Speaker.
And again, this really kind of comes down to what we saw happen with a ruling with the 6-week abortion ban that was overturned on constitutional grounds back in January 2023. Justice John Kenneth was a deciding vote on that 3-2 ruling, which has really kind of put his entire judicial career at this point now in flux, which is why he's facing such an uphill challenge here, because usually justices kind of enjoy a bit of a deference from these lawmakers when it comes to their re-election, unless they do something really egregious or they've had a lot of complaints. There have been some issues with some saying about his character or his, I guess maybe his temperament in some respects. So I feel like judges, I mean, you're a judge, don't you just have the ability to be judgmental all the time too? But I think that's playing into it now that we have, these 3 other folks who are running against him. It's very interesting to see such a race play out.
Yes, definitely. And again, this is the first year when we have the new law taking effect. So normally only 3 candidates could get sent to the floor for a full vote by the legislature. This is the first time that cap on the 3 does not exist. And so now you have 4. So it adds a different dynamic to the entire debate.
And again, 3 of them with judicial experience and 1, like we heard from Senate Majority Leader Shane Massey, Jay Lucas, not having that experience, which really makes a difference there too. And it does give that political favoritism concern because you're talking about people having that support for him. So we'll see that play out. Again, we have less than 2 weeks until March 4th, and we'll be talking about that in the gavel as well as talking to some folks here and around the State House. But I want to move on to what we also saw play out in the Senate too after that bombshell, and that was how the Senate unanimously passed Finance Committee Chairman Harvey Piller's homestead exemption bill, which may apply to you out there, as 768, that would expand the homestead exemption on primary residence property taxes for folks 65 and older. There were some tweaks to what we saw play out there, Mayan, which allows an exemption of $75,000 for anyone 65 and older who moves to the state and lives in the state for 5 years, and the full expansion of $150,000 of their property value once they lived here for 10 years. And then there's also grandfathers, people already living in the state. And we also saw a weird move by Senate Majority Leader Shane Massey, again, making sure that if any part of this law is ruled unconstitutional or just not in line with what we see on the books, that it could entirely be thrown out. So it's interesting to see that because it's that severability clause that people talk about, and to get rid of that,
yeah, and this is actually a non-severability clause. And typically you do see, on the other hand, you'd see a clause inserted into most bills. We've seen that, for example, on abortion legislation, that if one piece of the bill, one piece of the law gets thrown out, it doesn't mean that the entire law gets thrown out. This is different. And the reason why it's different is because Massey explained that there have been challenges in other states over residency requirements. And we've seen the High Court, the U.S. Supreme Court, wade into this issue. And because of that, again, there are questions whether you can actually place these residency requirements on folks. And the reason why they put that there, of course, is because South Carolina's population is booming. People who are 65 and older are already flocking to this state. We are now the fastest growing state in the country. And so by inserting that clause, it at least ensures that, okay, if the residency requirements get out, we're not just giving a free-for-all on this property tax exemption. And so that was the purpose of that. We'll see what happens in the House. I think there are still some big question marks, right, about what the bill actually does. And another component that was talked about during the debate but was not inserted was home affordability for people our age, for younger people, for millennials, for folks who are perhaps buying their first home. That was an issue that the Senate's youngest senator, J.D. Chaplin from Darlington, a Republican, brought up. He just bought his home for the first time last year at age 30. And he said, look, like I support this legislation. I support giving folks who need it a tax break so that they can keep their homes. But we need to also think about younger folks who are unable to buy a home in this real estate market. And so Senator Massey did say that there is going to be conversations about that. Will we see a bill this year? Who knows? But Senate Finance Committee Chairman Harvey Peeler has set up a subcommittee that will be chaired by the tax policy wonk, Senator Sean Bennett, Republican from Dorchester, and he believes that this topic will be an issue on that subcommittee.
And of course, like you're talking about affordability, but I know that folks 65 and older, we're talking about fixed incomes versus, the youth as we are.
I'd like to think of myself still that way.
I own a home, so, must be nice, Senator Chaplin. But kind of continuing with that, we're talking about the whole tax debate. Now we're moving on to the personal income tax bill, H 4216, which started again in the Senate after they finished voting unanimously, like we said, on that homestead exemption bill. So you're going to see that play out in the Senate. They come in, at 11 o'clock today? So we'll be jumping over to the House in a moment. But Maayan, speaking of the House, speaking of money and taxes and revenue and all that fun stuff, the House Ways and Means Committee, you've been covering them this week. We have a budget. It's been passed to the floor, to the House. We'll see that being debated in March, but what's in this budget? What can you tell us about it? What stood out to you?
This is a really interesting budget. It is a total $15.4 billion spending plan. Now, of course, House Ways and Means Chairman Bruce Bannister told us that number could come down, in large part because of the money that it will take to spend on the income tax legislation if that does become law, and also the money that it will take to spend on the homestead exemption legislation if that becomes law. But this budget is very, very interesting. Look, we saw about $500 million for infrastructure. We saw $175 million for the Medical University of South Carolina to have their new cancer hospital. We saw $150 million so teachers in the state of South Carolina can now start at a starting salary at $50,500. Most districts do go over that, but at least for the base pay, that's what they will get. We also saw millions more, so state employees get a 2% across the board pay raise. Other interesting bits that were included, for years we've seen what is called tuition mitigation money, money for colleges and universities for operations to ensure basically, or get a promise back that you're not going to raise in-state tuition. Well, now they're changing that sort of platform up. It's called SC First. Basically, they're going to tie in giving you money to really do programming that also ties back to workforce development. So we'll see that come on the floor in mid-March, early March.
Yeah, because we've seen that tuition freeze for so many years now, and it's interesting to see that being changed up. So, of course, we've got a lot of activity here in the State House lobby. Of course, it's Thursday. We have different groups coming through. I think it's co-op day, so congratulations to the extra co-ops out there. We'll be giving some shout-outs in the future. But Maayan, anything else you're watching today or think that we should be aware of before we jump back over into the House? I'm trying to think of anything else from the State House gavel that you can find at scetv.org/thegavel.
Right. Well, we'll be watching again what the Senate does on the income tax bill. That could wrap up today. And then even just this morning, right before we came on air, the House Judiciary Committee voted 13-5 to allow the House to retain former 13th Circuit Solicitor Walt Wilkins to basically investigate, in large part, whether the House even has impeachment powers. This issue came up because a group of conservative House legislators want to try and impeach the 5th Circuit Solicitor Byron Gibson. So we saw that move out of committee today. But taxes and
here comes the House Speaker. Maybe he wants to jump on. Just
Merle Smith,
got anything to say
yes.
You guys working on today?
How is session going to go today?
House session gonna go.
Quick, fast.
Quick.
You're on television right now. Just fast, slow.
Gonna go fast, I hope.
Okay. All right.
Anything major?
Anything major on the floor today?
I don't think so. We're gonna deal with some agriculture bills, and that's about it.
How'd you think the budget was looking? What we've seen so
I haven't
far.
seen the whole budget, but I'm very pleased about the appropriation to roads. I think that's a major priority of ours, and there was a major investment with the roads and funding the county transportation committee. So I'm very pleased with that.
All right.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. And that was the House Speaker, Merle Smith.
The magic of being in the State House lobby and live on TV at the same time.
Right.
We'll go ahead and send it over to the House right now. But again, we are here every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday during legislative session. And of course, you can read the gavel every Tuesday through Friday at scetv.org/thegavel. We have the South Carolina lead every Tuesday and Saturday. And this week in South Carolina, and this week on Friday night at 7:30 on ETV, we'll be talking to former state senator and current mayor of Camden, Vincent Shaheen, about his new book, The Concise Guide to State Government, which if you want to understand all this, you need to read it. And we'll be bringing you some highlights of that too, as well as looking at the life and legacy of the late Reverend Jesse Jackson. That'll be Friday night at 7:30 on ETV. I'm Gavin Jackson, along with Maayan Schechter here in the State House lobby. We're going to go back to the House. Have a good day and a good weekend.
Mr. Guffey, you are recognized for a special introduction. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members of the General Assembly, if you, first of all, let me apologize. If you close your eyes, you may think that Representative Mitchell's up here talking as I try to read these names, but I'm going to do my best. Today we have citizens from District 48 that are part of the World Heritage Foreign Exchange Program. Jason Hunsinger, Brittany Hunsinger, Maya Smallsy, along with foreign exchange students, Albina Gabdalina from Kazakhstan, and Sarvinos Murata Bekova from Uzbekistan. If y'all would help me give them a warm welcome to the state of South Carolina.
Welcome to the State House. We're glad to have you with us. Hope you enjoy your visit. Thank you for being here today. We appreciate it. Representative Terry Alexander has a very special introduction. Representative Alexander, you are recognized.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to introduce someone who is closer to me than breathing, and who's nearer to me than hand and feet. This is Miss Charlie, my granddaughter of 8 years old. She asked me as we were coming into Columbia that Columbia reminded her of London. I don't know if she ever been to London. Nope. But she said reminded her of London without the bell. So let us welcome Miss Charlie Wiley here to the State House of South Carolina. Let's give her a great big round of applause.
Welcome to the State House. We're glad to have you here.
And tell them who you are to me. Who am I? Say it loud. Who am I? Huh?
We know you're proud of your grandpa.
Yeah, she calls me Papa the butler.
Yes, we're glad to have you with us this morning.
Hey, thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Ms. Bauer, you ready? You waiting on Mr. Caskey? All right. Representative Grant has the next special introduction. Representative Grant, your crowd up in the balcony. All right, let's give Mr. Grant your attention. You got a special introduction, so let's give him your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If I can have the Blazers from Ridgeview High School to please stand in the balcony. Also up in the balcony from Richland County, our South Carolina Legislative Black Caucus Chair Lady, Representative Annie E. McDaniel, is up there with us. And today I have the pleasure of introducing and welcoming the 2025 South Carolina 5A Division I state champions. And so it is with great pride. That's right. It is with great pride to recognize the extraordinary accomplishments of the Ridgeview High School track and field team on winning that 2025 5A Division I state championship. Ridgeview High School, which is located in the heart of House District 79, has once again proven that excellence resides in Richland County. These young people did not just compete, they dominated. They trained in the heat, pushed through the fatigue, trusted one another, and represented their school and community with discipline, integrity, and heart. This championship belongs to an outstanding group of student athletes to include Nasir Aiken, Jordan Best, Angel Brooks Jr., Aaron Cameron, Josh Campbell, Nevin Gaither, Quincy Grant, Caden Harris, Christian Jackson, Ethan Jives, Corell Johnson, Jasia Johnson, Jordan Mack, Ms. Tawan, Anthony Richardson, Monier Span, Amari Stevenson, Orange Stringles, Cleve Tellery, Elijah White, and Daryl Price. And each of these student athletes persevered through early mornings, late practices, personal sacrifices, and the unwavering commitment to greatness. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, champions are not just won on race day alone, but they are built rep by rep and step by step. Also wanted to commend the head coach and my fellow R&E Cavalier, Charles Proctor, for his leadership and vision. The championship program reflects championship leadership, and Coach Proctor has clearly built a culture of accountability and belief. And I've personally witnessed this commitment to his athletes to make sure that they have everything that they need to not only be successful on the track and field, but also in life. So Coach Proctor, thank you for that. Also want to give a quick shout out and recognize the assistant coaches, Angel Brooks, Kazia Gaither, Kyle Green, Carl Massenberg, Don Mundy, and Michael Stackhouse. Thank you for pouring into these student athletes, not just as competitors, but as the young people prepare for life beyond the track. And lastly, I want to recognize our principal who is in the balcony, Dr. Brenda Mack. So good to see you. Our athletic director, Brian Rosefield, and assistant principal, Mackie Wilson, for fostering an environment where academics and athletics work hand in hand to produce excellence. So finally, Blazers, you are now forever state champions. No one can take that from you. And years from now, when you reflect on this season, you won't just remember the medals, but you'll remember the brotherhood and the lessons of perseverance and the pride of representing Ridgeview. You have made your school proud, you've made your families proud, you've definitely made House District 79 proud, and you have made the state of South Carolina proud. So ladies and gentlemen of the House, would you please stand and help me congratulate the 2025 5A Division I state champions, the Ridgeview High School Blazers. Thank you.
Congratulations, young men. Job well done. Congratulations. Proud of you. Keep up the good work. We'll see you next year right back here at the same time. Representative Bauer and Caskey have the next announcement. House will come to order. House will come to order. Still got some more introductions to go.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Fellow Trade Commissioner and I, Caskey, are here to invite you to our first annual Ireland Trade Commission celebration. We're going to celebrate St. Pat's Day on March 3rd at the Alumni Center. There will be dancing. I don't know if you knew that. There will be live dancing. We're going to have plenty of Guinness, so you can just ignore the RSVP on the invite. Just come and enjoy yourselves and help celebrate St. Patrick's Day. March 18th, Tuesday. Alumni Center, yes. Thank you all.
Thank you for that. Picture of Mr. Caskey dancing. President Bowers, you ready? House come to order. Still got some special guests. President Bowers, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's a great honor to have the Daniel High School teacher cadets here from Pickens County. If you would stand up. Daniel High School teacher cadets are with us, and these students have a strong interest in one day becoming classroom teachers in public schools in South Carolina. I want to recognize them for their hard work in the high school and wish them the best in their future endeavors. They're visiting the State House today to learn more about the political process, and they're sponsored by the Palmetto State Teachers Association. Please stand and help me welcome them. Thank y'all for being here.
Welcome to the State House. We're glad that you're here. Appreciate y'all being here. Representative Crawford, are you ready? Where are you? Representative Crawford and the rest of some of the Horry County delegations on their way up this way. Representative Crawford, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am joined this morning by members of the Horry delegation, and Representative Guest is in the balcony. Today I have the honor of recognizing my alma mater, Socastee High School, and even more exciting, it's our school's first ever state title in boys volleyball. So boys volleyball, actually a newer sport to the high school league, only existing for a few years now. I'm going to ask the players, boys, would you please stand, the coaches, folks that are here from Socastee High School today. Torin, Max, Gavin, Keon, Josh, Wyatt, Jackson, Ethan, Tate, Ivan, Taylor, Ryder, Bryson, Jace, Preston, and Gary. Also, we're joined with our coaches, Coach Henson, Coach Wells, and other Coach Henson, and our athletic director, Vincent. Players, you took the Sockasty Strong mantra and you turned it into a master class on the court. You've brought a trophy back to Sockasty, but more importantly, you've carved your names into the history of our school. And for that, you should be proud, and we certainly are very proud of you. To the coaches and the families, let me say that this win also belongs to you. You provided the foundation, the late night rides, and the unwavering support and belief that this group had what it took to go all the way, and they did. So Braves, you can hold your heads high. You set a goal, you faced the best in the state, and you came out on top. Enjoy this moment. You've earned every bit of it. I am so proud of you. I am so happy to have you here today. Go Braves. Please help me recognize your 2025 State Boys Volleyball Championship.
Congratulations, guys. Good job. Job well done, young men. Coaches, thank y'all for what y'all do for these young men. Congratulations.
Congratulations, guys.
And again, like I told the first group, we'll see you here next year. Anyone else have a special announcement? House will come to order. I got a couple of more special introductions. Representative Pedalino is recognized for a special introduction. House come to order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Over the past 4 seasons, Lawrence Manning Academy's varsity softball team has distinguished itself as one of the premier teams in SCETV's 4A competition. After finishing as state runners-up to Wilson Hall in 2022 and 2023, the Lady Swamp Cats responded the only way championship teams do, by leveling up. In 2024, they defeated Hammond to secure the SCETV 4H state championship. The 2025 season confirmed that achievement was not an isolated success, but the continuation of sustained excellence. Lawrence Manning completed the year with an exceptional 24-3 record, scoring 271 runs while allowing just 83. That margin reflects balance, preparation, and a disciplined commitment to execution on both offense and defense. As the regular season concluded, it seemed fitting that the championship would once again come down to Lawrence Manning and Wilson Hall, setting the stage for a best-of-3 rematch between the rivals. And the Swamp Cats rose to the occasion. I actually told Speaker Smith I was going to talk a little bit of smack, so I think he left the chamber. He didn't want to hear it. They claimed Game 1 with a decisive 5-1 victory. In Game 2, Wilson Hall surged to an early 4-run lead, but Lawrence Manning displayed the poise of a defending championship. A pivotal 3-run rally in the 5th inning, combined with steady defense down the stretch, secured a 5-4 win and sealed back-to-back SCETV 4-8 state championships. Please rise to be recognized and join me in celebrating their win this year.
Great. Congratulations, ladies. Miss Pedalino, who did y'all defeat again?
That would be Speaker Smith's team, Wilson Hall, the Barons.
That's what I thought I heard you say. I just want to make sure. Congratulations, ladies. We're glad to have you with us today. Keep up the good work. Representative Herb Kurzman wants to continue this conversation. I'm sorry, Representative Herb Kurzman has a special announcement this morning.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Buford delegation, sans Weston Newton, is up here to celebrate Weston Newton's birthday tomorrow. We're here to celebrate, what is it, Weston, 60-something, 65 for Weston Newton, and also to celebrate the fact that he's taking us all to lunch at the co-op tent today. So, yeah, the whole room. So, happy birthday, Weston.
Happy birthday, Mr. Chairman. Happy birthday. Representative Caskey is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to let you know, one of our Ways and Means staff members, Ryan Tooley, his birthday is today. I think it's on my calendar. I don't know. It might not be his birthday, but he'll have a birthday at some point. He's done a lot of hard work, and I just want to say hey to him and happy birthday. Thank you.
Happy birthday, Ryan. Thank you for all you do. Representative Cobb Hunter is recognized for the next announcement introduction.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, I hope they're still up there, but I am so honored to stand. And any of you in here who were Boy Scouts, I'm sure you will be interested in what I'm about to announce. If you were Boy Scouts, hey, even if you were Girl Scouts, if you were involved in scouting, you may want to come up here and recognize this achievement by this crowd.
Would you like for them to stand up? I didn't mean to interrupt you. Would you like for them to stand up in the balcony?
Oh, I was going to do that after. Yeah, y'all stand up while I'm talking. I was going to do that after, Mr. Speaker, but come on.
They need to be recognized during your speech.
Yes, sir. But y'all, what we are so proud of in Orangeburg County is the ability, and we've got members, and if there are any other members of the Orangeburg delegation who want to come, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, everybody who cares about service, we are so very proud, Mr. Speaker, in Orangeburg County that we have accomplished something that is truly a first. For those of you who are Boy Scouts, you know that Eagle Scouts is the highest, most prestigious rank in Scouting in America. Y'all, that is awarded. Mr. Speaker, could I get some order, please? Because we're real proud in Orangeburg County.
Yes, ma'am. House, come to order, please. Just take those conversations outside if you need to. House, come to order. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Y'all, because we're real proud of the accomplishment that these young men have made. The Eagle Scout is awarded to fewer than 10% of youth since 1911. To earn it, Scouts must, before turning 18, and earn 21 merit badges, demonstrate leadership, and complete a significant service project. Over 2.5 million youth have attained this rank, which signifies a commitment to community, to leadership, and personal growth. We thank the Scoutmasters, pastors, and churches that empowered these young men to greatness. Trinity United Methodist Church, Troop 190, led by Reverend Dr. Eddie C. Williams and Scoutmaster Ernest Nimmons. New Light United Methodist Church, Troop 500, led by Reverend Enrique Gordon and Scoutmaster Ron Mosley. And Mr. Speaker and members, I need to just take a point of personal privilege to tell you that Ron Mosley was a dispatcher for the Highway Patrol for a number of years. And one of the things that one of the former troopers have said is that in the midst of really trying times and circumstances on the patrol, what really got him through was Ron Mosley's calm, dispatching voice. So I just want to acknowledge Ron and his many years of service to our state. Please stand as I call out your name. The amazing young men who attained this honor are Sean Antonio Nimmons of Scouting of America. See, Mr. Speaker, that's why I ain't have them to stand, because then now we don't know who's who. They all standing. But wave your hand, Sean. Wave your hand again, baby. Okay. Sean is from A New Light. Melvin Edward Hart of Scouting America Troop 500, New Light United Methodist Church. Derwin Akeem Braley of Scouting America Troop 500, United Methodist Church, New Light. Kamari DeJohn Cleckley, Scouting of America Troop 500, New Light United Methodist Church. Mr. Speaker and member of the council, these scouts are chartered under is the Scouting America Indian Waters Council, Edisto District, under the direction of Mr. Ron Mosley, Scoutmaster. And as you can see, Mr. Mosley has continued to give service to the community after his many decades of service to the Highway Patrol. He was doing scouting during that time, but he has really turned this into a full-time occupation. So, Mr. Speaker and members, please join me as we recognize this historic achievement by these young scouts. We are so very proud of you, not just in Orangeburg County, but across the state of South Carolina. You go, guys. We are so proud. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Oh.
Congratulations, guys. Job well done. Good job. I'm proud of you. Thank you very much for that.
And Mr. Speaker, Reverend Representative Alexander just shared with me that somebody's name I didn't call, somebody with a merit badge. So, y'all, I call what was written. Raise your hand if you're up there. Oh, you? Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, members.
Representative Govan's recognized for the next announcement.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I would just like to take the opportunity to recognize some of the parents, in fact, that are some of the individuals who are the proud parents, those individuals recognized particularly in my district. And as a former member, proud scout, member of Troop 190, I want to recognize Ms. LaToya Towns and Ms. Ms. Sharon Scott, who are the mother and aunt of Willie, who was just recognized, because we asked them to please stand and be recognized as well.
Welcome to the State House, ladies. I'm glad you're here with us today. Representative Hickson's recognized to introduce some special guests. House come to order. House come to order, Mr. King.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today we're very fortunate to have the South Carolina Foresters here and the South Carolina Forestry Association and the tree farmers. Being on ag, you get to learn a lot what goes on in this state. And the ag committee is welcome to come up here and stand, please, if you got a minute. South Carolina has 12.8 million acres of forestry land, which represents 67% of our state's total land area, 52% hardwood and 48% softwood, which is pine. Timber is the #1 harvested crop in South Carolina. Since 2023, South Carolina has projected losses of 10.7 million tons of wood markets due to the 13 paper mills and mill closures and curtailments as far as not taking as much wood in and cutbacks. It's very devastating to people that have timber, have farmland. A lot of people's retirement depends on that. A lot of people sending their children to school depends on the money that they get from harvesting the timber. According to the most recent report, the South Carolina forestry industry contributes $23 billion annually to the economic impact of our state. And that's through the wood, the paper mill products, including manufacturers, timberland owners, and foresters, wood dealers, and logging companies. Overall, in South Carolina, forestry industry provides 1,113 jobs and more than $5.5 billion in labor income. So if you would, please welcome the South Carolina Forestry Association and the tree farmers to our State House today and thank them for what they do for our state and our economy.
Stand up, ladies and gentlemen. Thank y'all very much. It's good to see y'all. Thank y'all for breakfast this morning. We appreciate it.
And thank you for our breakfast this morning, too. Thank you very much.
Thank y'all for being here. Thank you for what you do.
All right. Mr. Pope is recognized for a special introduction. Mr. Pope.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Any of the members that like the idea of their electricity staying on after I give this speech, feel free to join me up front. Don't come running. Ms. McDaniels, understand, don't come running here later going, I want to introduce my co-op, because the speaker has told me this is it. So if you don't love your co-op, just stay in your seat. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today is Co-op Day at the State House. We have with us trustees, employees, and line workers representing co-ops from across the state. If you're here with a co-op, I'm going to introduce your co-op. If you could, if you're up top with us, please stand. The co-ops represented here today include Aiken Electric, Berkeley Electric, Black River Electric, Blue Ridge Electric. Those guys understand how it works. Broad River Electric, Central Electric, Coastal Electric, Edisto Electric, Fairfield Electric, Horry Electric, Lawrence Electric, Little River Electric, Lynch's River Electric, Mid-Carolina Electric, Newberry Electric, New Horizon Electric, Palmetto Electric, Santee Electric, Tri-County Electric, and my pride and joy, York Electric Co-op. And in respect for Mr. Clyburn, once again, Aiken Electric. What I have just determined from our introduction of our electric co-ops, Mr. Speaker, we always get nervous at election time. If you could get support of these co-ops, you ought to be able to win a statewide race if you wanted to. I want to thank you to the line workers and employees for what they do, especially during these recent storms. I'm blessed with being on the circuit with the co-op. I don't think it's because my son works at the co-op, they tell me. It's just that they got to get the control center on, and so I'm very fortunate as long as my transformer doesn't go out. But when we're home making snow ice cream and being excited about the weather, these guys are headed into work and into the co-op. So I want to thank you again for all that you do. The co-ops are hosting a lunch today on the State House grounds between Blott and Gresset from 11:30 to 2 p.m. They say you can stay and eat and spend some time with them, or you can get a to-go plate. But if you get a to-go plate, don't be calling them this weekend if your electricity's out. So please stop by and say hello, to thank your co-ops and the folks before they leave Columbia today. Seriously, thank you for all you do. We never take you guys for granted. Thank you for being here today. Let's give them a State House welcome.
South Carolina Electric Co-ops, thank you for what you do. We appreciate your service. All right, have all members recorded your presence. Polls closed. Clerk will tabulate. Polls are closed. Clerk will tabulate. A quorum is guest present. I didn't get to read it. Ms. Waters, are you ready? Black History Month.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Will all members of the Black Caucus and any member who cares about Black History Month please join me at the podium? So today's Black History Month spotlight is actually a really personal for me because this is a family member of my partner, Kristen, Joseph H. Rainey, who was actually the first Black person ever elected to the U.S. Congress from South Carolina. And just for the family, because I did tell him we were honoring Joseph H. Rainey today, and I told him to tell the family, and he said, they're so old, I'll just record it and send it to them later. So if you're watching this after, do with that information and do to him what you will. Joseph H. Rainey was born enslaved in 1832 in Georgetown, South Carolina. He was a truly dynamic lawmaker of his time who helped organize the state Republican Party in 1868. He was a delegate to the state constitutional convention and won election to the state Senate, where he chaired the Senate Finance Committee. In 1870, he won election to Congress and rose to become the first African-American elected to the U.S. House of Representatives, the first Black lawmaker to preside over the House from the Speaker's chair, overseeing a debate on an appropriations bill providing for the management of Native American reservations. Rainey served on the Freedmen's Affairs Committee, the Indian Affairs Committee, and the Invalid Pensions Committee, the last of which considered pensions and federal benefits for wounded veterans. He also served on the Select Committee on the Centennial Celebration and the Select Committee of the Freedmen's Bank in the 45th Congress. Rainey served with distinction on the Joint Committee on Enrolled Bills, where he worked with House clerks and his counterparts from the Senate to ensure that the bills that were passed between chambers were accurate. Rainey was widely respected as one of the House's most skilled orators and a tireless committee member who consistently used his position to defend the rights and safety of African Americans. Mr. Speaker, can we have some order, please?
All right, members. Ms. Waters requested order. Thank you. Ms. Waters, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Rainey became a leading voice in the fight against racist violence and voter suppression. On the House floor, he forcefully supported the Ku Klux Klan Act of 1871, calling on the federal government to intervene when state authorities failed to protect Black citizens from terror, intimidation, and murder. He argued that the Constitution existed to protect even the most vulnerable citizens and rejected claims that federal enforcement violated states' rights. Despite receiving death threats and facing persistent political opposition, Rainey continued to defend the law and successfully pressed for additional funding to enforce the law. Beyond combating racial violence, Rainey advocated for comprehensive civil rights legislation, equal access to public education, and fair treatment in transportation and public accommodations. He spoke openly about his own experiences with segregation and discrimination and argued that integrated public schools were essential to dismantling racial prejudice. His vision of human rights also extended to economic justice, immigrant rights, and respect for Native American sovereignty. Rainey's congressional career unfolded amid escalating political violence in South Carolina, including armed intimidation of voters and organized attacks on Black communities. He repeatedly warned that such violence threatened democracy itself and called for continued federal protection of elections. Though he survived multiple contested elections, he was ultimately defeated in 1878 as federal enforcement waned and voter suppression intensified. Rainey continued public service after leaving Congress and died in Georgetown in 1887, leaving a legacy defined by courage, moral clarity, and unwavering defense of equal citizenship. He was the longest-serving African-American member of Congress during Reconstruction. Mr. Speaker, I ask that these words be recorded in the journal, and I thank you for giving us this moment.
Thank you, Ms. Waters. If you'll hand those remarks to the clerk, then we will print them in the order. So ordered. All right. Body, stand at ease for a second, please. All right. Clerk will read.
Invitations for the month of March.
Representative Forrest moves to accept these invitations. All in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed, ayes have it. The invitations are accepted.
Committee reports, 4709. LCI, favorable.
Committee report.
Committee reports, LCI, favorable with amendment 4730.
Committee report.
LCI, favorable as is, Senate 583.
Committee report.
LCI again, favorable with amendment, House Bill 4752.
Committee report.
As well as House Bill 5140.
Committee report.
Favorable with amendment, LCI reports 5162.
Committee report.
As well as House Bill 3227.
Committee report.
Education and Public Works reports favorably 5205.
Committee report.
There you go. Mr. Grant, a new resolution honoring Richland School District 2.
Mr. Grant requests unanimous consent to add the roll of the House as an objection. Here none. Adopted.
Mr. Govan honoring Calhoun High School.
Mr. Govan requests unanimous consent to add the roll of the House as an objection. Here none. Adopted.
Mr. Hosey honoring William Holmes.
Mr. Hosey requests unanimous consent to add the roll of the House as an objection. Here none. Adopted.
Duncan Whitmire congratulating Brooke Wiley.
Mr. Duncan requests unanimous consent to add the roll of the House. Is there an objection? Hearing none, adopted.
Pastor Jones, a new bill, Carolina Ratepayer Protection Act.
Referred to the LCI Committee.
Chapman and others, relating to the adoption of the 2009 edition of Energy Conservation.
Referred to the LCI Committee.
New introduction by Hickson, Haddon, and Grant, deer hunting.
Referred to the Ag Committee.
Introduction by Weston Newton, requiring plaintiffs and actions for damages.
Referred to the Judiciary Committee.
Senate 718. This is Senator Garrett, pertaining to conditions under which operators may use recreational.
Referred to the LCI Committee.
Senate 845, Senate introduction, Senator Young, State Child Fatality Advisory Committee.
Referred to the Judiciary Committee.
Senate 868, introduction by Senator Elliott, Gold Shield Day.
Referred to the 3M Committee. Is that it?
I started this business about 3 years ago. The whole reason I started was because I always had a passion for art and woodworking. I've been doing fine woodworking for approximately 31 years now. I think the reason I love working wood so much is because each piece of wood is unique. I sort of joke to friends of mine saying that the wood sort of speaks to me, and it really does, because I can work on a piece and I may think that I'm going to carve this into some sort of maybe a jewelry box, and then
Senate will please come to order. Members and guests will remain standing while we're led in our devotion by our wonderful chaplain, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Chaplain.
Paul reminds believers in Rome, and I believe that he's actually speaking to all of us, he reminds us that we have different gifts according to the grace given to us. From Romans chapter 12, verse 6. Friends, let us pray. Now and then, dear Lord, it's a fascinating exercise to pause for a bit and to just think about the rich and incredible variety of gifts possessed by each one of these servants of yours here in the Senate of South Carolina. Truly, the depth of knowledge, the mix of experiences, the often fascinating and even unique opportunities many individuals have had, how marvelous and grand. Each one of these senators and aides brings to his or her work a special background that makes each one of them able to strengthen this Senate and consequently our state of South Carolina in so many absolutely positive ways, using their collective wisdom to tackle the challenges of every day. We praise you for this blessing, O Lord. In your loving name we humbly pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Senator from Cherokee, what purpose do you rise?
I request a call of the Senate.
Call of the Senate's been requested and is granted. I'd ask the clerk to ring the bell. The reading clerk will call the roll of the Senate to record your presence.
Mr. Adams. Present. Mr. Alexander. Present. Mr. Allen is present. Mr. Bennett. Absent. Mr. Blackman. Mr. Blackman is present. Mr. Bright. Mr. Bright is present. Mr. Campson. Present. Mr. Cash. Present. Mr. Chaplin is present. Mr. Clemmer. Absent. Mr. Corbin. Mr. Corbin is present. Mr. Cromer. Present. Mr. Davis is present. Mrs. Devine is present. Mr. Elliott is present. Mr. Fernandez is present. Mr. Gambrell. Absent. Mr. Garrett is present. Mr. Goldfinch. Absent. Mr. Graham is present. Mr. Grooms. Absent. Mr. Hembry. Mr. Hembry is present. Mr. Hutto is present. Mr. Jackson. Absent. Mr. Johnson. Absent. Mr. Kennedy. Mr. Kennedy is present. Mr. Kimbrell. Absent. Mr. Lieber. Absent. Mr. Martin. Mr. Martin is present. Mr. Massey. Absent. Mrs. Matthews is present. Mr. Ott. Absent. Mr. Peeler is present. Mr. Rankin. Absent. Mr. Rickenbaugh. Absent. Mr. Rice is present. Mr. Sabb. Absent. Mr. Stubbs is present. Mr. Sutton is present. Mr. Tedder. Mr. Tedder is present. Mr. Turner, present. Mr. Verdon is present. Mr. Walker has leave. Mr. Williams. Absent. Mr. Young is present. Mr. Zell. Mr. Zell. Absent.
Senator Goldfinch is present. Are other members wishing to record their presence? Senator Massey is present. Other members wishing to record your presence? Polls are closed. The clerk will please tabulate. 31 members are present. A quorum of the Senate is present. Senator from Darlington, what purpose do you rise, sir?
Point of personal interest.
Point of personal interest. Recognized for point of personal interest. Up to 5 minutes.
Mr. President, I come up here today to tell you all of an incident that took place in Darlington County over the summer. On July 1st at 2 o'clock in the morning, my phone rang. Bleary-eyed, I looked at it, and when I saw the name on my caller ID, my heart hit the floor. It said, Todd Hardy. When the coroner of your county is calling you at 2 o'clock in the morning, you know that there is only bad news on the other end of that line. I answered the phone, and for the rest of my life, I will never forget what he told me. He said, young man, about 2 hours ago, deputies serving a warrant in the Oates area were ambushed. One of them shot, dead. The suspect shot, dead. The other deputy shot and en route to McLeod. Conditions unknown. Chief Kill is in your county right now conducting an investigation. I wanted you to be aware of this so that when you woke up in the morning, you would be aware of what was going on in your county. Needless to say, I did not sleep any more that night. When morning rolls around, we get a slightly fuller picture of what happened. At about midnight on July 1st, a call came in to the Darlington County Dispatch stating that 2 individuals wanted for both financial and computer crimes by Florence County was hiding out in the Oates community of Darlington County. 3 deputies responded. Deputy Devin Mason, Deputy Jacob Heatherly, Deputy Matt Lynch. All 3 deputies arrived and they found one of the 2 individuals in the yard. They arrested her and learned that the other individual was inside of the house. They entered into the home lawfully and began to conduct a search. Deputy Devin Mason went into the back bedroom where he found the grandmother sitting in her hospice bed and was speaking with her. She claimed the individual they were searching for was not there and not at the house. Soon he was joined by Deputy Weatherly. While speaking to the grandmother, the suspect emerged from a hidden bathroom in the closet and opened fire on both deputies in the back. Deputy Lynch then responded, pulled both officers out of the house, and immediately began to render aid. Deputy Weatherly was shot in his Kevlar vest with a bullet lodging in the muscles of his back. Deputy Mason was shot under his right arm, missing his Kevlar, bullet lodging in his chest. He was most likely dead well before Deputy Lynch got to him. Deputy Mason was 27 years old. That December, he had gotten engaged to his long-term girlfriend, Maddie Church. 2 months before, they had given birth to their first child, Brooks Mason. He had been an over-the-road deputy for less than 2 months. Soon, sadness began to turn to anger because we learned that because he had been a deputy for such a short period of time, he was not vested in the South Carolina retirement system. And he or his descendants, his heirs, were not entitled to any benefits from the state. Darlington County saw this, and they took care of Deputy Mason. Darlington County stepped forward and made sure that his family was taken care of in their most vulnerable time. But Darlington County never should have had to do that. South Carolina should have stepped up to the plate and had something in line to do that. Which is why later today, Mr. President, when you read the box, you will see a piece of legislation authored by myself, which will do exactly that. It will allow the state of South Carolina to take care of officers killed in the line of duty who had not yet vested themselves in the retirement system of South Carolina, who were not entitled to any of those benefits all other officers are. And I pray to our Lord above that under no circumstance do we ever have to use it. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator from Darlington. Senator from Spartanburg, Senator Martin, what purpose do you rise, sir?
I'd like to ask unanimous consent request
State your request, sir.
to have the words of the senator from Darlington printed in our Senate Journal.
Without objection. Any objection? Here, no objection. The words from the Senator from Darlington will be placed in the Journal. Senator from Orangeburg, what purpose do you rise, sir?
I would like to make an introduction.
You're recognized for introduction.
I'm joined up here today by Representative Govan from the House, and we are here. It is a very proud day. We are here to recognize some scouts from Orangeburg County that made history last weekend on Scout Sunday. And first of all, I'd ask the reading clerk to go ahead and read the
Reading
title.
clerks, please publish the title.
This is a Senate resolution to recognize and honor Eagle Scouts Willie Randolph Towns III, Derwin Akeem Braley, Kamari DeJean Cleckley, Sean Antonio Nimmons, and Melvin Edward Hart Jr. upon their induction as Eagle Scouts, to commend Scouting America Troop 500 and 190 for their historic accomplishment, and to express sincere gratitude to Scoutmasters Ron Mosley and Ernest E. Nimmons for their exemplary leadership and service.
Senator from Orangeburg.
Thank you. I was pleased to be at New Light United Methodist Church 2 Sundays ago and Trinity United Methodist Church this past Sunday. During Black History Month, this was the largest class of African American Eagle Scouts ever inducted in South Carolina, 5 of them together. And I am so proud. I've known these young men. They've come fishing at my farm, and I've gone camping with them, and I've been with them since they've been Cub Scouts. And to have them all achieve the rank of Eagle Scout, just like Eagle Scout Campson, Eagle Scout Graham, Eagle Scout Hutto, Eagle Scout Chaplain, Eagle Scout Climber, who's not here, Eagle Scout Setzler. You see that man up there in that picture? See this man up here, Eagle Scout Vern Smith? And I bet you didn't know this, that in the history of the Democratic caucus, it's only been led by Eagle Scouts. Eagle Scout John Land, Nikki Setzler, and Brad Hutto. And so we are so pleased to have you here. And I know we've got also with you Reverend and Miss Ernique Gordon, Assistant Scoutmaster Waymeyer, and some other scouts, the rest of you scouts from Troops 500 and 100, and the people that are with them. And y'all all stand up. All stand up. It is such a pleasure to see you here during Black History Month and having just celebrated Scout Sunday. These guys have done tremendous amounts of community service, have won awards for their community service in and around Orangeburg. And we just thank you so much for your commitment, your dedication to your parents and your leaders and your churches. It is a great testament to you all. And Representative Govan was a proud member of Troop 190 back in the day. And so we couldn't be more pleased. I think April Mayfield, that I say she's here. She's with the Edisto District back there. Thank you all for being here, and let's give them a warm round of welcome to the South Carolina Senate.
Welcome to the Senate. Congratulations to the Eagle Scouts and to all those that are with you today. Congratulations.
Thank you, Senator from Orangeburg. Senator from Berkeley, Senator Grooms, what purpose do you rise, sir?
Purposes of an introduction.
You're recognized for introduction, sir. Senator from Berkeley, Senator Grooms, please give him your attention.
Well, as the distinguished group of Eagle Scouts leave the gallery, we will probably have a few more coming in because there's a much larger crowd, I believe. I see some up in the balcony, and members of the Senate, some of you may want to join with me up here at the podium because we have with us our trustees, some employees, some line workers, all representing the electric cooperatives of South Carolina. If you have a co-op, why don't you come up here and take a look at these fine folks. They're from every corner of our state, and today is co-op day. And we want to thank you so much for providing lunch for us. So if you don't know, there's lunch on the grounds up until 2 p.m. today provided by the co-ops. Now, although they give us a little bit of lunch, but the main thing they do for the people of South Carolina is provide low-cost, reliable electricity. They're representative of almost every county in South Carolina. And rain, snow, wind, sleet, the time when you do not want to be outside, these line workers are out there keeping the lights on for us. They put themselves in harm's way for the good of their communities. The co-ops are more than just the electrical suppliers, although that is so important. They're the backbone of most of the communities throughout South Carolina. Your hard work and dedication to make a better life for the people of South Carolina, it means a lot to us, and we do thank you for being here today and for having Co-op Day. When you look around the world, you know, there's a direct correlation between kilowatt hours consumed and quality of life. You make life better for South Carolinians, and we appreciate that, and we thank you for coming here. And I'd like to go ahead and just announce that we do have co-ops from Aiken Electric Co-op, Berkeley Electric Co-op, Black River Electric Co-op, Blue Ridge Electric Co-op, Broad River Electric Co-op, Central Electric Co-op, Coastal Electric Co-op, Edisto Electric Co-op, Fairfield Electric Co-op, Horry Electric Co-op, Lawrence Electric Co-op, Little River Electric Co-op, Lynch's River Electric Co-op, Mid-Carolina Electric Co-op, Newberry Electric Co-op, New Horizon Electric Co-op, Palmetto Electric Co-op, Santee Electric Co-op, Tri-County Electric, and York Electric Cooperatives. Thank you, line workers. Thank you, employees, for what you do, especially through the storms. Now remember, they provided lunch for us, so we're going to welcome you here to the South Carolina Senate, and hopefully we'll be able to see you outside and enjoy some good food. So if you would, how about join with me, senators, in welcoming the electric cooperatives of South Carolina.
If you're with the co-ops, please stand and be recognized. We are delighted and honored to have you with us today. Thank you for what you do for the citizens across the great state of South Carolina. We appreciate your service. Thank you all very much. Thank you, Senator from Berkeley. Senator from Pickens, what purpose do you rise, sir?
Introduction.
You're recognized for introduction. I want to ask we stand at ease momentarily before this introduction to allow our good friends from the co-op to exit the chamber.
Senate is in order, and the senator from Pickens has been recognized for introduction. Senator from Pickens.
Thank you, Mr. President. Fellow senators, if you will look in the balcony up here to my right, we have got a great group of folks from Pickens County. This the Daniel High School teacher cadets. We want to welcome them down here. They actually go to that little school called Daniel High School, which is by that little school over there called Clemson University. Some of you may have heard it, but they want to be teachers in our schools. We want to welcome them down here. The Palmetto Teachers Association is sponsoring this. Daniel is actually in the President Alexander's district, and they've got people in President Alexander's district and in the district I represent that are both at Daniel High School. So welcome to the Senate. Glad to have you down. If y'all would please recognize them. Thank you.
Welcome to the Senate. We're delighted to have y'all visiting with us today. Enjoy your time here in the State Senate. Good to see y'all. Thank you. Thank you, Senator from Pickens. Senator from Darlington, what purpose do you ask, sir?
Introduction.
You're recognized for introduction. Senator from Darlington.
Mr. President, today I have the honor to recognize some distinguished Darlington County individuals here. Today we have the Sheriff of Darlington County and several of his deputies. We have Sheriff Michael August, Chief Deputy Cliff Howe, Major Clemens, and Officer Jefferson. They came all the way from Darlington up here today to witness the reading of the box here shortly, and I would really like to know who they have keeping an eye on Darlington County right now, since they're all up here apparently. I guess they're doing a good enough job getting all the crime out that he feels safe leaving every now and then. But please join me in welcoming Darlington County Sheriff and several of his deputies.
Welcome to have y'all with us today. Enjoy. Thank you for your service to Darlington County and to the state.
And real quick, I want to add something.
Senator from Darlington.
One of the pages in here, that's his dad up there. The Chief Deputy.
Yeah. Senate is so informed. Are there any petitions, memorials, presentments of grand jury, or such like papers? I'm informed we have no communications, therefore we are on the introduction of new bills and resolutions. Senator from Horry, Senator Hembry, what purpose do you rise, sir?
For an expression of personal interest.
You're recognized for a point of personal interest. Please give the senator from Horry your attention.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, this could also almost go down as an announcement, but it's got just a little more to it. As you know, we've been dealing with the newest version of name, image, likeness. It really is sort of a Freedom of Information Act bill that is connected to the paying of college football players. It got second reading. We had quite a bit of debate on it earlier this week, and then a newspaper article was written that triggered a lot of questions yesterday. And we have, we're in the process of trying to gather those questions, get answers to those questions. But in light of where we are and wanting to make sure that the body has as much information as they need to move forward on this bill or not, we are going to schedule a special education committee meeting on Wednesday at 10 o'clock this coming week. The purpose of that meeting will be to do nothing but discuss the most recent NIL bill and the questions that came out of the newspaper article, or any other questions that any member might have. So I guess my invitation part is that meeting will be open to any member of the South Carolina Senate. We'll entertain questions from any member of the South Carolina Senate at that meeting, and we'll hear from all the athletic directors and others from the universities that want to make sure that we have all the information we need to make an informed decision on that bill going forward. So in the meantime, that bill will be objected to until we have the opportunity to have that meeting on Wednesday, and then after that we'll hopefully take it up. Just wanted to make that announcement. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Morey, and the Senate is so informed of that meeting next week. We continue to be on the introduction of new bills and resolutions. Reading clerk will please read.
Introduction of a bill by Senator Chaplin. It amends the code so as to provide that a non-vested member of the police officer retirement system who dies in the line of duty shall receive a one-time lump sum benefit payment.
This bill is being referred to the Finance Committee.
Introduction of a bill by Senator Verdon and others that amends the code relating to the liability of a seller for selling a defective product so as to define necessary terms, amending further sections relating to the intent of the code concerning the liability of a seller for selling defective products.
This bill is being referred to the Judiciary Committee.
Introduction of a bill by Senator Gambrill and others. It amends the code relating to C funds so as to delete a provision requiring a percentage of C funds be expended on the state highway system.
This bill is being referred to the Finance Committee.
Introduction of a bill by Senator Elliott. It's to enact the Charity Protection Act by adding a section to the code so as to prohibit a state agency or state official from imposing annual filing or reporting requirements that are more burdensome than the requirements established in Chapter 56 of Title 33 of the Code and provide some exceptions.
The bill is being referred to the Labor, Commerce, and Industry Committee.
Introduction of a concurrent resolution by Senator Chaplin. It's requesting the Department of Transportation name the section of Highway 151 in front of the Sheriff's Office in Darlington County the Deputy Frank Devine Mason Memorial Highway and to erect appropriate signs and markers.
This bill is being referred to the Transportation Committee.
Introduction of a Senate resolution by Senators Sutton and Matthews. It's to commend the Tuskegee Airmen on the anniversary of their activation, honor their extraordinary legacy of service, valor, and perseverance, and recognize the courage, sacrifice, and enduring legacy of South Carolina's own Tuskegee Airmen.
This resolution will be referred to the Family and Veteran Services Committee.
Today is the anniversary of the founding of the Tuskegee Airmen, and I think everybody knows that Tuskegee Airmen are the first African-American fighter unit stood up during World War II to prepare for service and eventually see in action in Italy as well as Germany as well. And as an aviation guy, I feel like I've got a very strong appreciation for that history. And I'll say one of the first things when I entered the Air Force 20 years ago, one of the first things you do is you go to a school called Basic Officer School down in Montgomery, Alabama. And at the time, a lot of the Tuskegee Airmen were still living. And we had a good day with those gentlemen to talk about their service, the challenges that they had to overcome in a segregated military, and actually have some things at home that are signed by the Tuskegee Airmen. You'll see and squadrons throughout the Air Force. Every time you see that P-51 with the red tail, that is the Tuskegee Airmen's airplane, and that's what they use to identify themselves, is that red tail. There was an excellent movie from about a decade ago as well that came out and highlighted their contribution to the war effort during World War II. And I believe a lot of the training also took place in Senator Matthews' district as well. So wanted to make sure that we get this resolution introduced on the anniversary of that unit being stood up and recognize their incredible bravery and what they contributed to defeating fascism in the Second World War. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator from Charleston, Senator Sutton. The Senate resolution has been adopted. Reading clerk will continue to read.
Introduction of House Bill 5064. This is a bill amending the code relating to the creation of the Northeastern Technical College Area Commission so as to provide that the representation from the local industry may include certain ex officio members.
The bill is referred to the Education Committee.
Introduction of H 4813. This bill amends the code in various sections, all related to fees and costs to be collected by magistrates, so as to increase various fees and costs, and amending further sections relating to assessment on filing in magistrate courts.
This bill will be referred to the Judiciary Committee.
Medical Affairs Committee reports favorable with amendments on S 343, bill by Senator Corbin and others. It amends the code to establish an informed consent protocol that must be followed prior to a certain COVID-19 vaccination being administered or received.
Placed on the calendar.
Medical Affairs Committee reports favorable with amendments on H 4343. Bill adds a section to the code so as to require human trafficking awareness and prevention continuing education training for licensed practical nurses, registered nurses, or advanced practice registered nurses, excluding certified registered nurses and anesthesiologists.
The bill will be placed on the calendar.
Medical Affairs Committee reports favorable on H 3254. This bill amends the code relating to special examinations and related criteria required of applicants for permanent medical licensure by the Board of Medical Examiners so as to provide the board may waive certain examination requirements for applicants found to possess the general medical knowledge required to competently practice medicine.
Placed on the calendar.
Medical Affairs Committee has reported favorable on H 3223. This bill adds an article to the code so as to provide definitions and requirements concerning the use of telehealth for veterinary services.
The bill is placed on the calendar.
Medical Affairs Committee has reported favorable on H 4342. This bill amends the code relating to requirements for a restricted instructor's license issued by the Board of Dentistry so as to remove limitations on certain credentialing requirements.
The bill is placed on the calendar.
Medical Affairs Committee has reported favorable on a statewide appointment. Member of the State Board of Pharmacy representing the 4th Congressional District. Appointment of Dr. Timothy F. Gentilcore of Greensville.
Placed, received as information.
Medical Affairs Committee has reported favorable statewide appointment. Member of the Board of Nursing representing the general public, reappointment of Dr. Robert J. Wolf of Columbia.
Received as information.
Medical Affairs Committee has reported favorable on a statewide appointment. Member of the panel for dietetics representing the dietitians. It's a reappointment of Miss Elizabeth Beth Griffith of Lancaster.
Placed on the calendar.
Medical Affairs Committee reported favorable statewide appointment. Member of the Board of Long-Term Health Care Administrators representing non-proprietary nursing homes administrators, the reappointment of William H. Birmingham of Anderson.
Received as information.
Desk is clear, Mr. President.
The desk is clear. We now go to statewide. But before we do that, Senator from Charleston, Senator Campson, what purpose do you rise, sir?
For an introduction.
You are recognized, sir, for introduction. Please give the senator from Charleston your attention.
Thank you, Mr. President. And any members who support the forestry industry are welcome to come join me, because we have in the balcony with us more than 50 members of the South Carolina Tree Farm Program. We also have the Board of Directors of the South Carolina Forestry Association, and Cam Crawford, who is their fearless leader in the state legislature anyway. The forestry industry, it comes from every corner of South Carolina. The tree farm program was established in 1946. It supports sustainable management of family-owned forest lands and woods, water, wildlife, and recreation. The Forestry Association Board of Directors are South Carolina's top forestry leaders that set the policy agenda for the state's forest industry. South Carolina has 12.8 million acres of forest land, which represents 67% of our state's total land. 52% is hardwood, 48% is softwood or pine trees. Timber is the #1 harvested crop in South Carolina. Since 2023, South Carolina has had a projected loss, however, of over 10.7 million tons of wood markets due to 13 paper and lumber mill closures. However, in 2025, Hominid announced it was locating in Clarendon County on May 22nd. Hampton Lumber Mill announced it was locating in Allendale on June 24th. Gallivant's Ferry Sawmill announced plans for a new sawmill operation in Horry County on September 17th. Carolina Renewable Products announced a renewable fuel plant in Orangeburg on October the 7th. Eastover Chips announced it was building a wood chip facility near Silvamo in Richland County on December the 9th. So we do have, we're recovering a bit, but we need to recover much more rapidly from the loss of paper mills consuming our wood products. According to the most recent report, the forest industry contributes $23 billion annually in economic impact. That is #1 in the state. That's not #1, but it is #1 in payroll in the state for the forest industry. The wood and paper products industry includes manufacturers, timberland owners, foresters, wood dealers, and logging companies. Overall, the South Carolina forest industry provides 100,000 jobs and more than $5.5 billion in labor income. 87% of South Carolina's forests are privately owned. 13% is managed by public agencies. 63% of those forests are owned by families, and 56 of these owners live on land. The average family forest is 80 acres. Finally, the state forests are growing more wood today than is being harvested, and South Carolina's forests now contain more trees than at any time in the past century. Please help me welcome our South Carolina farmers and the Forestry Association Board of Directors who are here today for all of us so that to enhance conservation and enhance the economy in South Carolina. Y'all please stand.
Please stand and be recognized. We are honored to have you with us today in the State Senate. Great to see y'all. Thank y'all so much. Appreciate you. We will now go to statewide uncontested third reading, page 8 in the calendar. Page 8, top of the page, S160, by the senator from Lawrence. The reading clerk will please read.
Bill to enact the Dietitian Licensure Compact Act so as the amendment code so as to provide the purposes, functions, operations, and definitions for the compact.
Question is, third reading of S160. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Ayes have it. No. Over there. Go further on page 8, S70, by the senator from Horry, senator from Spartanburg, Senator Martin, senator from Greenville, Senator Turner. What purpose do you raise?
Move to carry over.
Motion is to carry over S70. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The bill's carried over.
We now go to page 9, S858. The senator from, there you go, Senator from Beaufort. What purpose do you rise, sir?
Move to carry over.
Motion is to carry over S858. All those in favor would say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The bill is carried over. We now go to page 10 on the calendar. Top of the page, H3798. Reading clerk will please read.
This is a bill which adds a section to the code so as to provide certain criteria for military chaplains, provide that the military chaplains have the privilege to refuse to disclose certain confidential communications.
Question is, third reading of H3798. All those in favor would please say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The bill is given to third reading. We continue on page 10, middle of the page, S619 by the senators from Anderson, Senator Gambrell, and Senator from Greenville, Senator Turner. I'd ask the clerk to please, reading clerk to read.
This bill amends the code relating to priority of distribution for claims so as to add funding agreements.
Question is, third reading. All those in favor would please say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The bill is given a third reading. Finally, on page 10 is S697 by the senator from Anderson, Senator Gambrell. I'd ask the reading clerk to please read.
This is a bill to transfer the South Carolina 211 network to the Department of Consumer Affairs. It adds a section to the code so as to create the South Carolina 211 network within the Department of Consumer Affairs.
Pending question. Third reading. All those in favor would say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The bill is given a third reading by the Senate. We now go to page 11, S780, by the senator from Anderson, Senator Gambrell. The reading clerk will please read. Senator from York, Senator Clymer. What purpose do you rise?
Move to carry that over.
Motion is to carry over S780. All those in favor would say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The bill's carried over. Continuing on page 11, S857 by the senator from Greenville, Senator Turner. The reading clerk will please read.
This bill amends the code relating to insurance law definitions so as to define the term contingent deferred annuity. Bill amends the further sections relating to exceptions from operation of the standard non-forfeiture law for individual deferred annuities so as to add an exception for certain provisions of the standard non-forfeiture law.
Pending question is third reading of S780. All those in favor would please say aye. Oppose, no. Senator from York, Senator Clymer. I'm sorry, 857.
Pardon.
Thank you. We're at the bottom of the page, 857. The question is third reading. That's the reading clerk had published that. All those in favor of third reading of 857, please say aye. Opposed? No? Ayes have it. We now go to page 12. Page 12, S768 by the senator from Cherokee, Senator Peeler, and Senator from Oconee and others. Reading. We have an amendment on the desk. It's third reading amendment. Senator from Berkeley, Senator Grooms. What purpose do you rise, sir?
Ask unanimous consent that we allow this amendment on third.
Is there objection? Senator from Spartanburg, Senator Martin, what purpose do you rise, sir?
Just to get a brief explanation of the amendment before we do that.
Senator from Berkeley, Senator Grooms.
The amendment's being offered by the senator from Pickens. It's more technical. It deals with the underlying bill dealt with the number of years someone needed to be a resident of South Carolina to qualify for the exemption. We may have unintentionally excluded some people.
Is there objection to the unanimous consent request by the senator from Berkeley to allow the amendment on third? Any objection? Hearing no objection, so I'll ask the reading clerk to publish the amendment.
The amendment's by Senator Rice. It does amend the bill in Section 1. It strikes Section 1237, 253, subsection B.
Senator from
and
Pickens, recognized. Explain his amendment. Senator from Pickens is recognized on his amendment.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yesterday, late in the debate, we talked about a 5-year or a 10-year residence requirement in order to qualify for the homestead exemption. When we were talking about it, it occurred to me that if somebody had been here 25 years and moved out of state for 1 year, when they came back, they would have to start over on that. I feel like if somebody's been here for an extended period of time, they shouldn't be penalized because they just left the state maybe for the last year or two of a job and came back. The one thing about my amendment is it probably doesn't tell us how we qualify them, and I would like to ask unanimous consent to add and filed a tax return in South Carolina at their program.
Is there objection to the unanimous consent request to allow the filing of to amend the amendment?
To amend the amendment and say filed a tax return here in South Carolina.
Senator from Orangeburg, what purpose do you rise?
Senator, yield for
Senator, yield for a question.
Yes, sir.
Shouldn't it say that they paid 4% property tax for instead of filed a tax return?
Well, I don't think we do that anyway in the bill because somebody could have rented property because, and then they would qualify in the bill itself. So.
Okay, I'm with you.
Yep. Okay.
Is there objection to the unanimous consent request? Senator from, we're going to take our time here. Senator from Berkeley, Senator Grooms, what purpose do you rise, sir?
See if the senator answer a question.
Sure.
Senator, yield for question.
Senator, we don't do that now for the $50,000 exemption.
That's correct.
And you want to, because the amendment right now is really technical in nature just by striking the word immediately. 10 years, you have to qualify by being here 10 years immediately prior to filing. We're just striking the word immediately to allow someone to have been here 10 years, 5 here, and then go somewhere else then 5 years later to get your 10. So by striking the immediately, to me that's technical, but if you're adding and filing of income tax returns, that probably gets beyond just the straight technical part of the amendment.
It probably does what we're trying to figure out. By adding that, we've got a way of keeping a track record because there's no way to track that otherwise.
Wouldn't that be better left up to your county assessor?
I was going on the recommendation of staff on this.
Okay.
So.
I don't object.
Okay, is there objection to amending the amendment? Hearing no objection, so ordered.
Move for passage.
Pending questions before us is the amendment as amended. All those in favor would say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Ayes have it. The amendment as amended is adopted. I'm going to order a roll call on third because of the amended amendment. Clerk, I'm sorry, Senator from Kershaw, what purpose do you ask, sir?
For
Leave.
leave for Senator Walker from Richmond.
Without objection, Senator Walker has leave. Clerk is ringing the bell. Reading clerk will call the roll of the Senate. Third reading of S. 768, page 12, as amended.
Mr. Adams. Aye. Mr. Alexander. Aye. Mr. Allen. Aye. Mr. Bennett. Aye. Mr. Blackman. Aye. Mr. Bright. Aye. Mr. Campson. Aye. Mr. Cash. Aye. Mr. Chaplin. Votes aye. Mr. Clymer. Aye. Mr. Corbin. Aye. Mr. Cromer. Aye. Mr. Davis. Aye. Mrs. Devine. Aye. Mr. Elliott. Aye. Mr. Fernandez. Aye. Mr. Gambrell. Aye. Mr. Garrett. Aye. Mr. Goldfinch. Aye. Mr. Graham. Aye. Mr. Grooms. Votes aye. Mr. Hembry. Mr. Hembry not voting. Mr. Hutto. Aye. Mr. Jackson. Aye. Mr. Johnson. Aye. Mr. Kennedy. Aye. Mr. Kimbrell. Aye. Mr. Lieber. Aye. Mr. Martin. Aye. Mr. Massey. Aye. Mrs. Matthews. Aye. Mr. Ott. Aye. Mr. Peeler. Aye. Mr. Rankin. Aye. Mr. Rickenbaugh. Aye. Mr. Rice. Aye. Mr. Sabb. Aye. Mr. Stubbs. Aye. Mr. Sutton. Aye. Mr. Tedder. Aye. Mr. Turner. Aye. Mr. Verdon. Aye. Mr. Walker has leave. Mr. Williams. Votes aye. Mr. Young. Aye. Mr. Zell. Aye.
Have all senators voted? Have all senators cast your vote? Final call. Polls are closed. The clerk will tabulate. By a vote of 44-0, the bill is given a third reading of the Senate. We continue in our calendar on page 17. We're now in the second reading uncontested category. S. 76, Senator from Orangeburg. What purpose do you rise?
Carry over.
Motion is to carry over the bill. All in favor would say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The bill's carried over. Please turn to page 20 on the calendar. Page 20. Toward the middle of the page. S. 288 by the senator from York, Senator Johnson, and others. We have an amendment on the desk. I'd ask the reading clerk. Senator from Greenville, Senator Corbin, what purpose do you rise, sir?
Can we carry this over?
Motion is to carry over S. 288. All those in favor of the motion to carry over, please say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The bill is carried over. We continue now on page 26. Toward the top of the page, H. 3974. The reading clerk will please read.
Adds an article to the code so as to authorize evaluators to evaluate public school students for health, behavioral health, or therapeutic needs, to authorize private providers to provide related services at schools during the school day.
Senator from Spartanburg, Senator Bright, what purpose do you rise, sir?
Move to carry over.
Motion is to carry over H. 3974. All those in favor of the motion would say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The bill's carried over. Bottom of page 26. S. 787 by the senator from Anderson, Senator Gambrell. The reading clerk will please publish.
This bill adds a section to the code so as to define bridge loans, amends a further sections relating to bridge payments so as to provide that this section does not apply to bridge loans.
Senator from Anderson, Senator Gambrell, what purpose do you rise, sir? You're recognized to explain the bill.
As the clerk says, the bill defines bridge loans and exempts them from consumer protection relating for the balloon payment, deals with balloon payments as we talked about yesterday. The bill passed out of subcommittee and full committee unanimously. South Carolina Bankers Association, independent bankers, and the mortgage bankers have all signed off on this language. It just helps with the increased cost of ownership. It deals with ability to get a loan if you're trying to sell your house and you found another house that you'd like to buy.
Pending question is second reading of S787. Roll call is required. I'd ask the clerk to ring the bell. Senator from Spartanburg, Senator Martin, what purpose do you raise?
Unanimous consent request.
State your request.
So we used the last recorded vote from the third reading bill that was unanimous.
Is there objection of using the 44-0 vote for second read that was on third reading for the second reading on S787 at the bottom of page 26? Is there objection? Hearing none, so ordered. Senator from Dorchester, what purpose do you raise?
Temporarily object to that. I think there's a member that was not included in the last roll call that may want to be included on this one.
We'll proceed to the roll call. Senator from Anderson, Senator Gamble, what purpose do you raise?
For the roll call, request leave for the senator from Georgetown for the day.
Senator Goldfinch has leave for the day. Reading clerk will call the roll of the Senate. Second reading S787 on the bottom of page 26. Reading clerk, call the roll.
Mr. Adams. Aye. Mr. Alexander. Aye. Mr. Allen. Aye. Mr. Bennett. Aye. Mr. Blackman. Aye. Mr. Bright. Aye. Mr. Campson. Votes aye. Mr. Cash. Aye. Mr. Chaplin. Aye. Mr. Clymer. Mr. Clymer not voting. Mr. Corbin. Aye. Mr. Cromer. Aye. Mr. Davis. Aye. Mrs. Devine. Aye. Mr. Elliott. Aye. Mr. Fernandez. Aye. Mr. Gambrell. Aye. Mr. Garrett. Mr. Garrett not voting. Mr. Garrett votes aye. Mr. Goldfinch has leave. Mr. Graham. Aye. Mr. Grooms. Aye. Mr. Hembry. Aye. Mr. Hutto. Aye. Mr. Jackson. Aye. Mr. Johnson. Mr. Johnson votes aye. Mr. Kennedy. Aye. Mr. Kimbrell. Aye. Mr. Lieber. Aye. Mr. Martin. Aye. Mr. Massey. Aye. Mrs. Matthews votes aye. Mr. Ott. Aye. Mr. Peeler. Aye. Mr. Rankin. Aye. Mr. Rickenbaugh. Aye. Mr. Rice. Aye. Mr. Sabb. Aye. Mr. Stubbs. Aye. Mr. Sutton. Mr. Sutton not voting. Mr. Tedder. Aye. Mr. Turner. Aye. Mr. Verdon. Aye. Mr. Walker has leave. Mr. Williams. Aye. Mr. Young. Aye. Mr. Zell.
Have all senators voted? Senator Sutton votes aye. Senator Clymer votes aye. Further members, Senator Bright votes aye. Further members wishing to record your vote. The polls are closed and the clerk will please tabulate. So we continue with a 44-0 vote. Second reading is granted on S787. We go to page 27, middle of the page. S 420 by the senator from Aiken. Senator from Spartanburg, what purpose do you rise, sir?
In
Senator
interest of
Martin,
saving time, I'd like to make a unanimous consent request,
state your request, sir.
starting with Senate Bill 420 on page 27, going all the way toward the end of second reading on page 32 before concurrent resolutions, and raise a point of order under Rule 39 that these bills have not been on the calendar the required amount of time to receive a second reading today.
Is there objection to the unanimous consent that those be taken from page 27 to page 32 to the end of the category before concurrent resolutions as a group for the purposes of the point of order on the Rule 32? Here, no objection, so ordered, and that point of order is sustained. We go now to page 32. Concurrent resolution, H5045. The reading clerk will please read.
This is a concurrent resolution. It requests the Department of Transportation name a portion of Squire Road in the city of Rock Hill in York County, the Archbishop B.R. Wilson Memorial Road, and direct appropriate signs and markers.
Question is adoption of the resolution. All those in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. That completes the call of the uncontested calendar. We're now in the motion period. Senator from Edgefield, what purpose do you rise, sir?
Move to dispense with the balance of the motion period.
Motion is to dispense with the balance of the motion period. All those in favor would please say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion period is dispensed with. We go to page 3, S477, under the category of bills returned from the House. Senator from Beaufort, what purpose do you rise, sir?
To discuss the bill returned from the House and to ask that the Senate non-concur.
I ask the reading clerk to publish the title. Reading clerk, please read.
This bill amends a code relating to definition of self-administered hormonal contraceptives in the Pharmacy Practice Act.
Senator from Beaufort.
Mr. President, thank you. Members of the Senate, this is a bill that was filed to clean up the over-the-counter birth control bill that we had passed a few years ago, to make clear that IUD devices were not included in that over-the-counter. It was meant to clarify, it was meant to be for oral contraceptives, not for IUDs. And so the legislation was filed in the Senate to make that clear. It went over to the House, and the House amended it by voice vote that to say that if you're 18 years old, and currently if you're 18 years old and you have a prior prescription for birth control, you can get it over the counter pursuant to the law we passed. The House amended that to say not only do they have to have a previous prescription, but they have to have commenced and prosecuted an emancipation procedure in the court, which is just, I think, just unreasonable. So I would ask that the Senate non-concur so that we can go to conference and sort this issue out.
The question is concurrence, and you're asking to vote no.
That'd be correct. Yes, sir.
Roll call. Senator from Spartanburg, Senator Bright, what purpose do you have?
Would the senator object just to carry over this till Tuesday so I can actually look at the bill? I probably wasn't here when you passed it, but just until Tuesday.
Motion is by the senator from Beaufort to carry over. All those in favor of carrying over S477 say aye. Opposed, no. Ayes have it. Senator from Oree, Senator Rankin, what purpose do you ask, sir?
Mr. President, unanimous consent request.
State your request.
Page 5, S12. That is the old PSC bill that I would move to recommit to judiciary.
Is there objection to unanimous consent request on page 5, bottom of the page, S12, for that bill to be recommitted to the committee? Hearing no objection, so ordered. The bill is returned to the committee. We continue in our calendar under page 4, interrupted debate, H4216. Senator from Greenville, Senator Turner, what purpose do you rise?
After discussing this with the chairman of finance, we moved to carry this over today to make sure everybody has a chance to look at it in more depth over the weekend.
Motion is to carry over H4216. Stand at ease momentarily. Senate is back in order. Senator from Williamsburg, what purpose do you rise, sir?
Not the senator from Greenville would suffer a question.
Senator Greenville, Senator Turner, you yield for question?
Senator yields.
Senator yields for question.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you, Mr. President. Senator, we had talked yesterday about the sheet.
Yes.
And is it available to us yet?
Yes, I'll request unanimous consent to pass that out right when we're done with it.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Senator from Greenville, Senator Turner, renews your motion to carry over. Motion to carry over. All those in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. Ayes have it. The bill is carried over. Senator from Greenville, Senator Turner, what purpose do you rise?
Unanimous consent.
State your request.
Request to pass some information out to the body.
Is there objection to the unanimous consent request by the senator from Greenville, Senator Turner, to pass out information to the body? Hearing no objection, so ordered. Senator from Edgefield, what purpose do you rise, sir?
Mr. President, a quick announcement to follow up on the senator from Greenville's comments, and then also to see if anyone has any unanimous consent requests or announcements to make, because I think we're at the point that we probably could quit for the week.
Recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just to follow up on what the senator from Greenville was talking about, and he's passing out this information here. I think the senator from Cherokee would like for us to have this debate on Tuesday, if we can. So if we take this information that we have here, if you'd like to engage in that debate, if you'd like to offer amendments, whatever, hopefully we can have, Senator from Cherokee, hopefully we can have that debate all on Tuesday. Because my understanding is that the Finance Committee and the Judiciary Committee are not going to meet on Tuesday, so we'll have some time in the afternoon to engage in that debate. So I just want to make sure everybody's prepared for that.
Senator so informed. Senator from Edgefield. Are there any unanimous consent?
Mr. President, if there are no...
Senator from Collinton, what purpose do you rise?
Unanimous consent request.
State your request.
Mr. President, I would request that at the appropriate time, when the Senate adjourns in memory of George Malone. Sheriff George Malone was the first black sheriff of Colleton County, and he served with distinction. He passed away on Monday of this week. It's a tremendous loss. After he served as sheriff, he served over the police department at Trident Technical College, and everybody who knows George, love George. Thank you.
Thank you. Without objection, so ordered, we'll stand adjourned in his memory on the next available day. Senator from Darlington, what purpose do you rise, sir?
Unanimous consent request.
State your request, sir.
The next available date, the Senate adjourns in the memory of Deputy Devin Mason.
Without objection, next available day, we'll stand adjourned in his memory. Further announcements or unanimous consent? Senator from Edgefield.
Mr. President, the senator from Greenville, Senator Corbin, moves that the Senate do now adjourn.
The motion is, the joint motion, is that the Senate do now adjourn. All those in favor would please say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The Senate will stand adjourned to meet Tuesday, high noon.
Family grappling with an absent father who's trying to come back into his adult daughter's life. And I would say it's about all the stuff we don't know how to talk about. It's about how there's all this transference, all these things that parents and children go through that there's no language for. And we were